Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Mira. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I'm I'm happy to be part of this amazing Zoom session. I don't know how I registered, but I'm excited to belong. Talking about how AI could help me in the teaching process. Being an educator, teaching is a long process, and what we do in the classroom is just the final touches of it. Preparing lesson notes, setting questions, making uh, preparing assignments is very cumbersome. And the 31 minute that we spend in the classroom, we actually spend more than 4 hours behind doing the preparation. So for me, if I can integrate AI into that process to reduce that time that I spend to prepare for my lessons, and the finishing part will just be easy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. I mean, it's not easy to write lesson notes and lesson plan and all of that. Believe me, if I can learn how to maybe use AI to do that, it's going to be less stressful because it's a whole lot. Let's not even talk about marking scripts. Well, thank you very much for your input, John. Somebody else who else wants to tell us how AI is going to help them in teaching? Can unmute yourself and speak.
Okay, once again, I am Kende Olumuji from Gonzaga Jesuit College, Nigeria. There's one thing that I will use AI to do in teaching, in aiding my teaching. It's in my lesson preparation and delivery. Because these days, you need to prepare well ahead of time for you to be able to present your lesson in a very good way. And in most cases, you get to class, situations are always different. So if there are skills that I can acquire through this particular meeting, I would be very glad. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that input. It still all boils down to the lesson notes, the lesson planning, coordinating, and everything. Whoa, believe me, AI is going to really help us in doing all of that. By the end of this class, I believe that we would have learned a lot. Thank you very much. Somebody else, is there any other person that wants to tell us? Nobody's saying I want AI to help me and mark scripts. I mean, that would really help me. Okay, so while we are waiting for that, we still continue with our introductions. I see Francois from Rwanda. I see Tamuno Baribi from Nigeria. Uche Chupu, Slivik, wow, Moses Umana, Eric from Rwanda, John Kegafak from Cameroon. Oh, aka the continent. Okay. Okay, we have a lot of us joining in today. Thank you very much. I see Jean Cloud from Rwanda as well. Okay. While we do that, let's proceed, please. Okay, so I have my team on the call with me. I have the WAAW Foundation team, the programs team, and other teams on WAAW Foundation. And we'll all be here. You get to meet us today. Like I said earlier, I'm Austin Jessica, the Administrative and Programs Associate at WAAW Foundation. It's nice to have you all here today.
Thank you, Jessica. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day from anywhere you're joining us from. My name is Wura Olakayode, and I'm the programs manager at the foundation. It's great to be here. It's been a long time coming, so we are excited to see faces, to hear voices, to read from you through your chat. So thank you. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for registering. Thank you for seeing it through to follow up, reading your emails, reading all the reminders we were sending, and being here. So, once again, welcome and thank you. On this call, we have the team members, just like Jessica had said. We also have some of our departmental team from the communication department that are also on this call. And most importantly, we have our co-presenters who will facilitate the session already on this call. We are excited. Why we are excited really is because we've seen the track record. We didn't just identify people for the sake of this training. They have track records. And honestly, for those who have probably checked them out, since we've already put their name out, I've checked them out, you'd have seen traces that these are people who have done the work. They know what they are coming here to share with you. So once again, thank you so much for joining Dr. Cheryl Seals and Dr. Cheryl Swanier. Thank you so much, Maz, for saying yes and for being here. And to our participants, once again, welcome. We are sure that you're going to live with your expectations, honestly, because I hear two people say two things. They want to improve their skills in how they can integrate AI into their classroom. Pretty much that's why we are here. So very quickly, for those who know about WAAW Foundation, it's great to have you back here. But for the purpose of those who are just joining us for the very first time, it will be good that you get to meet us, right? So as you're introducing yourself in the chat room, let me quickly take you through who WAAW Foundation is, what our program really is. WAAW Foundation. WAAW is an abbreviation for Working to Advance Science and Technology Education for the African Women. Pretty much it's science, is technology, is education, the STEM for African women across board. We are an international organization founded in 2007. Our mission, really, we're driven by the purpose to empower African women and girls. And as we go on, you get to really see how women and girls integrate into what we are and what we do. But for us, we are empowering African women and girls to become transformative leaders through STEM education, through leadership, and through entrepreneurship training, while making significant impact in the world and in the community that they serve. Our vision, we are driven by that drive and vision that ensures that we create a world where African women are formidable global leaders. We want to tell our own stories from the point of view of we are doing it, not we aspire to do it. So we ensure that the women who are within our community, our system and ecosystem, are formidable global leaders who are transforming lives through technology, science, and innovation. Now, you would have heard us say something consistently: science, technology, and education, because really that's the bubble that we are in. STEM is very important for us. So even when we called for the registration, you saw that we said STEM teachers training, because we really know the basis of why that is also important for us. So moving on very quickly, I'll talk to you about our programs. And why we are sharing our programs with you is so that you see where you fit into and the opportunities that the students that you cater to can also benefit from. Please mute if you're not speaking so that it doesn't affect the sound for others. Jessica, please look out for where the sound is coming from, please. Thank you. Okay, that's done. Thank you. Next slide, please. Thank you. So our programs, I'm introducing these three programs really because this is where you see where you plug into it. WAAW Foundation, one of the monumental things we do is annually we provide scholarship for young women across Africa. And this scholarship is, we like to emphasize that it is need-based, it is merit-based. And it's a $500 scholarship that is awarded to young women who are currently in school taking STEM-related courses. Now, the reason why we are focused on women who are currently in school is because we want to ensure continuity and completion. So for every young woman or women in this case who are enrolled in school, we want to ensure that the reason why they will stop going to school shouldn't be because they don't have some certain amount of money to cater to whether their tuition or their accommodation or their feeding, which is like basic. Now you could say, oh, $500, does it really do so much? Oh, yes, it does. I mean, we've gotten feedback from a number of students who have benefited from this, and they've really shown how this has benefited them and transformed them and empowered them as well. So every year, we provide that scholarship for them. in the month of May, we onboarded the 2025/2026 students, young women, for the scholarship cohort. For the next cohort, we're going to open the portal in November, and definitely you'll be the first set of people to know, because you are already in our database. We'll be able to make that announcement to you, so that you can encourage the young girls that you know who are in universities to also apply and see how they can benefit from the opportunity. So those are one of our programs that we cater to. Another aspect of this is the college to secondary outreach and mentoring program. I talked about the need-based scholarship. Now, the need-based scholarship and this, they are simultaneous, right? Because one of the things that we also encourage is, as we give to the young women, we also encourage them to give back to their community. Now, they are giving back to their community through this particular program, which is the college to secondary outreach. What they are required to do is, in their university, they will form a chapter, a STEM chapter, where they drive change. Now, the beauty about this is building their leadership skills. These are young women who take up amazing roles, where they are chapter leaders, we have secretaries, we have social media leads, we have project managers, even in the team themselves. So we see how they are even building their own skills while they are doing this. So when they form a chapter, they identify schools within their environment. Again, we don't want them going so far, because they don't have to spend so much money because they want to do an outreach, right? So we encourage them to identify schools within their perimeter, so that they can go to that school and reach young girls there. So it's like a cycle, right? We are pouring to them, they are pouring to the next set of young girls who are also coming up. And the overall goal for us is to ensure that these girls that are in science classes, they don't just, I mean, after SS3, they don't just stop there. They need to understand or see the opportunities that are in STEM related roles or STEM related career opportunities. So that's what this particular program, which is the College to Secondary Outreach, caters to. Then, very importantly, I mean, why we are here, why we are speaking with you teachers, is because we have a STEM teacher training which happens across timelines, right? And basically, here is targeting teachers across Africa. Again, you ask us why across Africa. We know the importance of the system, right? The young girls that we're empowering rely heavily on teachers as well. So if we want an enabling enabling schooling environment for them, we also know that we also need to invest in the teachers through training. So this training is one of them. This year, we have done the initial training for Kaduna. I don't know if we have some of our Kaduna teachers on this call, but we went to Kaduna and we had a 5 days training for them. Depending on the partnership or funding availability, we are able to go across locations to hold these trainings. But where we don't have that, that's where we are able to know, you know what, let's maximize the virtual platforms and meet with teachers. So hence why we're having this meeting. One of the things I also want to emphasize is, during the end of this call, we have opportunities that your students can benefit from scholarship opportunities that are not led by WAAW Foundation. They are led by other partnering organizations. So we will also introduce you to those scholarship opportunities, so that you can sign up on behalf of your students, which my colleague will definitely speak on during the course of this. So something to note is, as you subscribe to us, whether through our newsletter, please ensure you follow us across our social media platforms, so that whatever opportunity that exists for you or for the student that you cater to, you'll be the first to know. So having said that, I want to, next slide, please. It's very safe to say that the objective of this training, we are in power of it, because I hear a number of people talk about, oh, they want to build their skills, and next slide, please. They want to build their skills and all. But one of the things that we've also identified is the objectives of this session. We have 3 objectives, really, and you would have seen us communicate this to you, because we want it to be engraved, and you can hold us accountable at the end of the training to say, guys, you said you were going to do this. At the end of the session, when you're filling the post survey form, you are able to say, oh, did we meet the expectation? These are the 3 objectives for us. We want to discover how AI is reshaping education from lesson planning to personalized learning. Personalized learning here could be your self-development as teachers or educators. You also want to gain hands-on insight into tools. What are the tools available? What are the resources that are available that can support your teaching? And for you to understand what are the ethics. Now, it's important that we understand the ethics and the opportunities that is tied to AI. At times on social media platform, it's funny that you see some random message say, oh, someone will just say, oh, I just dropped a confidential information on ChatGPT because I want a summarized version. That shouldn't be, because there are a couple of information that you want to hold sacrosanct into the organization. You don't want to put out there. So it goes back to this: as teachers, when you are engaging with your student, what are the kind of informations that you want to put out there? What are the ethics surrounding that? And lastly, I just want to leave us to this. I hold it personal, and I believe that there's no AI without data. This means that the only thing AI is able to regurgitate to us is because of what it's able to collect. So collecting from whether what people have put out there or what people are uploading out there. So basically, there's really no AI without data. So we are all instrumental in the use of AI. So having said that, with great excitement that I'm handing over the virtual mic, to our co-presenters, Dr. Cheryl Swanier and Dr. Cheryl Seals, to take over from here. Thank you so much, Maz, for being here. Over to you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cheryl Swanier. I'm from Voorhees University in the U.S. I serve as Dean of the School of Science, Technology, Health, and Human Services. So I am excited to be here on this morning to give an introduction to artificial intelligence in education in collaboration with my colleague, Dr. Cheryl Seals. Dr. Seals?
Oh, good morning, everyone. I'm Cheryl Seals, Charles Barkley Professor of Computer Science and Software Engineering at Auburn University, Auburn, Alabama. So I'm here with one of my good friends. We both have a very similar trajectory. We both have worked in industry at multiple companies. We both have been engaged with many different areas of higher education. I am now at Auburn University. I went to a small HBCU, Grambling State in Louisiana, North Carolina A&T in North Carolina, and Virginia Tech for my PhD. So, and been at Auburn University for the last, for a long time. And so thank you all for having us here today. We want to share a little bit about artificial intelligence.
So we've already done an icebreaker through the WAAW Foundation. And so what we're going to talk about is, what is AI? Why does AI matter? We're also going to look at the 5 big ideas in AI. And we're going to focus on ChatGPT. And we're also going to talk about different tools that you can use as an educator to be more productive, so that you don't spend a lot of time focusing on how to create lesson plans and other things. And so the last thing we're going to focus on is the AI framework.
Mm. So good morning again. We already did sort of a quick icebreaker. And for those who are just coming in, check out the chat. If you have not entered your name and where you're from, please do that in the chat. We want to see the beauty of all of the countries that we have represented today. And so, and also, this is a quick question for the chat. We want you to know, what is your comfort level in AI? If you're new to AI, you can just put in new or put in 1. If you're moderate or advanced, I guess you could put in a 2. So 2 is new, and 2 would be, or you feel comfortable. Okay. And so hopefully you can enter that. And the last thing is also we'll ask, what is your, for those who have for those who have, what is your favorite AI movie? And you can enter that in chat since we have a big group today. Oh, we see more countries coming in. Nigeria. Nigeria. Oh, Abuja. It's good to see everybody here today. Rwanda.
I'm here. I'm here, Rwanda, I'm here.
Hi, Eric.
Yeah, Eric, yeah.
Did you have something to share?
Sorry?
Did you have something to share?
So you're asking the one from Rwanda. I can share about how I'm teaching physics. Me, I'm a teacher of physics.
Oh, and I guess, do you have any questions about any questions of what are you hoping to gain from today?
So you want to gain about how can I use AI in teaching methodology. Sometimes we can solve a problem in science which is somehow difficult, but by using some AI skills, we can somehow solve the problems. So I expect to get some skills about how can I solve problems by using AI. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And so next we'll go into the next part of the icebreaker. Dr. Swanier, you want to take us into the next portion?
Sure. And so one of the questions Dr. Seals asked, what's your favorite AI movie? And so as you can see from this particular slide, you may recognize some of these movies. So AI movies, if you recognize any of these movie, then type yes in the chat and also type which movie that you're familiar with. So we'll give you a minute to do this. As you can see listed here, one of the top films in AI started back in 1984, The Terminator. And a lot of people have heard about The Terminator as well as Judgment Day from back in 1991. And so then there's the Space Odyssey, which dates back all the way to 1968. And the reason why we're talking about movies is because even though AI has really been around for a long time, when we talk about the movies, it kind of brings everybody into the fold about AI. There's another movie called Her Ex Machina, where you have actually humanoid robots. And this particular movie, Ex Machina, the main AI character here is Ava, right? And Ava really acts like a true human being. We got Blade Runner, Short Circuit, and The Matrix as well. Next slide. So we're just going to run quickly through these slides, just showing you some more current AI movies from 2001. One is called David. Next slide. Then I just talked about Ex Machina. There's an actual link here, but because the time is actually short, we're not going to go, in detail about the movies here because we have more important things to focus on. The Marvin, which is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And I've already talked about Ex Machina. And this particular software has facial recognition, and this humanoid robot actually show emotions as well. And a key thing about this particular robot, she develops a relationship with a human being. So So Ava is a humanoid robot that acts and looks human. Next slide. And then here's Samantha from the movie Her, and this dates back to 2013. And really, in this particular movie, Samantha serves as, a support and provides companionship with this particular person.
Mhm.
Next slide. So we got a quick activity here. Just think about this for a moment and put your responses in the chat. What is the relation between AI and consciousness? What do you think is the relationship between AI and consciousness? And question number 2, how has AI permeated the cultural landscape? So let's take a minute to provide your responses in the chat. Question 1, once again, is what is the relation between AI and consciousness? And how has AI permeated the cultural landscape? So as you're entering your responses in the chat, just think about AI. AI stands for what? Artificial intelligence. And so when we look at the intelligence of machines, we know that it's not real, right? It's fake, it's artificial, meaning that somebody that looks like you and I, meaning humans, you know, created, AI. And so there's this saying, what you see is what you get, a WYSIWYG, what you put in is what you get out. And so we as humans, we have created, these machines. And so I would love to see some responses in the chat. Okay. Someone responded that AI has disrupted social norms, okay, bringing communities into a new way of getting things done, promoting individualism rather than communal exercise. And so this response answers question 2. AI has really permeated the cultural landscape. People are using AI to get their jobs done. People are using AI to in education to assist or to facilitate, education in a positive way. And some people view AI as you said in your response, is providing a way to disrupt societal norms, because this is not what we normally do. A lot of times when we have to write a paper, we do it from a grassroots level, as opposed to using AI, to write our papers for us. Let's see what else we can see in the chat. Just like the moderator said at the start of the program, there is no AI without data. That's true. And guess what? By using AI, we are training, our models. And so the more data we put in, then we're able to get, more data back. So you're training the model to generate, answers for you. And we also do this through machine learning. Someone else said that AI may serve as intelligent ways to achieve goals, but it lacks self-awareness that relates to consciousness. And so when we think about the robots in Ex Machina, Ava, when we look at the first question, what is the relation between AI and consciousness? So we want our machines to have a certain level of awareness, okay? And think about we as humans, we have consciousness. And the same thing is true with AI. AI are these machines, yeah, they have consciousness based on the data, but if the data is not there, then these machines do not have a certain level of consciousness.
Mhm.
And lastly, someone put in the chat, AI needs data to perform specific tasks, but consciousness is natural. And that's true. So the consciousness of robots is not natural, but it pulls from the data. So when we look at AI, artificial intelligence, look at it from the perspective that it brings these moving parts of hardware together through what software. We know that hardware and software without each other, really it doesn't do anything. And so it's imperative that we pull the software and the hardware together. And so, and the way we do that is by making sure that the software is operating on the hardware. If you have a computer and there's no software on it, it's almost as if it's non-existence.
Mhm.
And so let's go to the next slide.
Mhm.
Next slide. So we've talked a little bit about artificial intelligence. Next slide. Next slide. And so when we think about intelligence, computer science is about solving problems. So when we think about intelligence, we're looking at the capacity to learn and to solve problems. And so when you look at AI, basically, we're training these machines, these robots, how to solve problems. Next. And so, not only does AI solve problems, but we also want our robots, these machines, to act in a very rational way. We want them to act like humans, although we know that they're not humans. And we also not only want these robots to act like humans, but we also want these robots or these machines to think in a very rational way. So if we're using AI, then we want our responses from these different types of AI tools to provide us good answers. And depending upon how you use AI, I mean, more than likely you'll get good responses. But if you don't use it in a very good way, then your responses will not be what you think they should be. Next slide. So why does AI matter? So AI is already everywhere, right? And so because AI is ubiquitous, we want to make sure everyone knows not only about AI, but how to use it and in what capacity we use it. And so it's important that we know what AI is and fully understand it, because not one day, but we are currently using AI, whether you're going to the ATM to get money out, whether you're using some type of software to perform a specific task or several tasks. AI is here and it's here to stay, and AI is not going anywhere. Just like when computers first came out to the general public, most people didn't know how to use it. And so people were taking introduction to computing courses, and now people all around, really want to know not only what AI is, but how to use it and how to be productive with it. Next slide. So think about it for a moment. Are you afraid of AI? Do you fear AI? Or is it just a joke? Is it hype? Or are you hopeful about AI? Personally, I love AI. And so in the chat, indicate whether you fear it, or do you believe it's just a hype? You're hopeful about it. And so think about automotive vehicles. The Tesla is a product of AI. It's solely based on artificial intelligence. Even your cell phones that you use are based on AI. And a lot of people are using AI, but don't really understand, how AI is being used. A lot of it is being used in the background, depending upon what type of, technology that you're using. But when you think about like Chat GPT, I mean, everybody knows that, that's powered by AI. And so are you really concerned about the rise of AI? Some people are. Some people think that they're going to lose their jobs because these machines are going to take over. Well, yes and no, depending on the type of job. But someone has to maintain and sustain AI. So, and we know people who are in technology, for the most part, I'm not going to say they're 100% safe, but they are safe. Is wearable technology a part of your daily life? If it is, put it in the chat. Say, for example, an Apple Watch. I have an Apple Watch. And so I depend on my, say, Apple Watch to track how, say, how many steps I take a day, or to give me information about my heart rate. So for health reasons. Do you own or intend to purchase a virtual reality headset in the next 12 months? Well, I don't have one. If you have a virtual reality headset, type yes in the chat. So someone put in the chat that from what I have seen so far, AI is not hype in any way. It has come to stay, and I think it is still in the evolution state. Okay, is this scary? I think so, but I think danger lies with what is programmed to do. And that's absolutely true. And I said earlier, what you put in is what you get out. Any type of anything, if used correctly, is fine. But if it's not used correctly, then it's being misused. And we call that abuse. Okay. Let's see what else. Some people say they have a smart watch. A smartwatch as wearable technology. Someone also said hope for the future, fear that normal things might be abnormal with AI soon. Some persons might lose their jobs. That's true. I love AI. As a dean, I have a lot of administrative tasks, and to make my job easier, I use AI. And sometimes I use AI to assist me in writing letters. If I just don't know how to frame certain things and I want to say it in a very professional way, I use AI, but I tweak it to make it say what I wanted to say. So really, I use AI to brainstorm, right? To give me ideas about things. And we're going to be learning that today. As educators, you can use AI to help you with your lesson plans, right? You can use AI to assist you and say creating your quizzes. You can use AI in order to come up with study notes. Students are always asking for a study guide. You can use AI, and we're going to look today at different tools that you can use to help facilitate you in doing different things in your classroom. Next slide. So the grandparents of AI consist of philosophy, mathematics, psychology, and computer science. Next slide. And the thing about this is that, with computer science, we know that computer science, where mathematics is the granddaddy of computer science, and I would like to say that um, um, computer science is the granddaddy of artificial intelligence. So when we think about philosophy, think about wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And so philosophy is an activity that people undertake when they want to understand. So in creating AI, you need philosophy. Next slide. Mathematics. You almost can't do, well, you can't do anything in STEM, in computing, and in artificial intelligence without mathematics. And so when you think about mathematics, we're studying quality, structure, space, and change. And so we're trying to find um, different patterns in the data, right? We try to formulate new conjectures. And again, mathematics means science, knowledge, and learning in Greek. Next slide. And then psychology. So when you're creating these machines, these humanoid um, robots, you have to study the human. You need to know how humans work, particularly if you're creating these humanoids, just like in Ex Machina, Ava. Um, the data set had to be trained. Human beings had to be studied, because if we're going to create these humanoid robots, we want them to act and think and perform like human beings. So psychology is the study of conscious and unconscious phenomena. You want your machine, your robot, to have consciousness. We want our machines to be aware. And so when we think about psychology, we're looking at the study of how people behave, think, and feel. So essentially, you're studying everything about the human being. Next slide. And so here's some applications of AI: natural language understanding, expert systems, planning and robotics, machine learning, and game plan. We're not going to get into all this because we really wanted to focus on, the different types of educational tools that you can use as educators. Go ahead, Dr. Seals.
Okay, so one thing we want to do is try a quick lesson. I guess how many of us have you're either a computer or a laptop with you? If you have a computer or laptop, I want you to go to Chat GPT. And in ChatGPT, I want you to ask one thing. Ask what tools would be good for students. What are some AI tools that would be good for students? So we're going to check that out and see what we get. So I'll check back in the chat. If you see a tool that would be good for students, put that in the chat. Okay. And then next, also look at what tools would be good for faculty. And because we're short on time, I'm going to move fast through this. And so if I look at the tools, I'm going to pull up some, I'm just going to pull up the examples without actually doing the query. These are some of the results that we receive. So ChatGPT, Grammarly, Hemingway, a Notion AI, and Canva. So when I think of our students, one, they are using a lot of Chat GPT, but one that I use also is Grammarly to help me with my editing. So that's a tool. If we have time, we'll look at today. Chat GPT, oh, great. Quizlets. And so we are going to use Quizlet today. That's a very good tool. Next, I asked what AI tools are good for college teachers. Now, what happened, guys, you can take a quick snapshot of this so you can get some of the tools. But what we'll use today, we'll use some Chat GPT. I'm Turnitin. This is for AI powered plagiarism checking. I use Kahoot, and I'll try to log into my Kahoot today and share some Kahoots if we have time. And the other one is Otter AI. This one is good for note taking that you can have that will actually run through. Now, so if you see some tools that you have not tried before, you can put those in the chat. Hopefully you got a good set of them. Let me go. I'm going to skip around just a little bit. I'm going to escape out of this. I'm going to go all the way to the end of my presentation and come back. So this is a full set of tools for faculty. So you can take a screenshot of that because we may not make it to that far in our slides today. But this is Chat GPT, Quillbot. We will use Quillbot today. This is for paraphrasing and summarizing. We'll also use Quizlet for making quizzes today. And we will use Claude for making and Canva if we have time. Okay. So I'll go back to where we were. So here are just some other examples of different tools. These are for AI and content generation. You can take a snapshot. We won't stop and look at all of these. This is if you wanted to use some of these tools. Here is some tools that are for business. Tools for Notion for note taking. Otter for meeting transcription. And this is for accounting if you have a small business, for accounting and finance. Here's another one. These are really good. I have a lot of students that use Canva because it will help you with making slides. So it reminds me of PowerPoint. It will give you different templates and it will use AI to make them better. Also, Adobe Firefox, Firefly is an AI-powered design tool. Okay. Okay. And so we want to think about, based on some of the ones that we looked at, here are some that we have used recently for creation. The first one we may want to try. Sometimes when we're looking at, for my lab, we try to think of what if we wanted to have a logo for my lab or for your business. We use Chat GPT to create avatars. We use Gemini. That was a little bit faster. Today we'll try to use Quizlet. So take note of these: Chat GPT, Gemini, Quizlet, Kahoot. We'll try to use some of those today. Okay. And this is my last sort of something related to AI. When we think about AI, have you all heard of the problems with AI? Thinking about different things that are problems like hallucinations. And so what happens, we utilize Chat GPT, but we cannot assume that it is all factual. Sometimes it will give you information. You need to fact check Chat GPT because it might have hallucinations. We also talked about some ethical problems caused by bias and some fraud. We may get a lot of phone calls that may come from sources that are not real. Those are being auto-generated by AI. They may be calling you robo-callers that call you. So you have to be very careful on even what you select as far as links. You need to double check, look at those links very clearly before you select them because they could be fraudulent. Okay, so the first thing we want to try as our next activity too. So hopefully everybody for activity 1 found some new tools that you saw. Oh, good. Somebody put a whole list and they said for studying. Thank you. And this was Chat GPT, OpenAI for writing, Quillbot. So yes, I like Quillbot is very good for revising. It generally comes up in 2 panes. You place your text or upload something in the left pane. It auto generates the updated response on the right pane or the other side. So creative. Photo math, thank you. And for Notion, AI for note taking. So make sure you all get copies of what's in the chat. These are very good tools. So try a new tool from time to time. The next tool we want to try, we're just going to use Chat GPT again to try to create a brand image. And so what happens, why an avatar? It can help build brand recognition. It can humanize your technology. It differentiates us from others, and it can be versatile. So I wanted to create an app. What if I wanted to open a small coffee shop? I wanted it to be focused toward young professionals in a college community, and I had certain colors in mind. So you want to think about who are we? Who do we serve? Think about your tone. So for me, I gave it a tone as friendly. I wanted it to be simple, and I gave it a tone. So you would choose a style. I chose a mascot as my style. So I want you to think about the prompt that you're going to put into Chat GPT to generate your avatar. And so I wanted it to be a mascot that was a character. So I gave it an animal that I had in mind. Gave it different types. I wanted purple because I wanted to think about innovation. Just brown for something that was earthy and holistic. Okay. And these are good tools. I've used Figma and Canva and some avatar generators. But today, to keep it simple, we're just going to use Chat GPT. And then we may also use Gemini. And that's Gemini, Gemini.com. Now, there are 3 different ways that it will create these images. It will create them as SVG, PNG, and JPEG. Now, JPEG will be the smallest or the simplest presentation. PNG will be generally the biggest file. And SVG is scalable. That can work on a small device like a phone, or it can work on a large device like a laptop. And so then we want to test our icon. I will pull it up, and we can also ask it to create that logo on a t-shirt, on a coffee mug, so you can see how that, or on your website header. Okay. So just to keep going, I'm going to show you some examples. So now, I don't know, either you can try this in Chat GPT. So we can keep Chat GPT up, or I'll try to go to Gemini. Okay. Okay, so here is Gemini. How many have tried Gemini before? But what we would do is we would put our prompt, ask Gemini, please create an avatar for my new business, for my new a and so you have to give it about the tone. The tone is friendly. Also, I want it to be cartoonish. I want it to be a cartoon style elephant. I want to give it some colors. We said purple was for innovation, and brown was more of an earthy tone. And give it the text for it also. And we'll see, can it actually create an avatar? So with this, you can get it to create avatars. You can try to find out about other classes. So I use ChatGPT. Oh, and so here is my avatar. So I'm going to save this. So this shows you how fast that generative AI can work for you. And so if you go back, here is ChatGPT. I can ask the same prompt in ChatGPT. Oh, I'm not logged in. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So any questions? Was anyone able to create an avatar? If so, just say yes. And you can, if you have it as an image, you can paste it in our chat. Okay. Oh no. Okay. So this is just a quick look. So it would have taken me probably weeks to create something that looked like this. So it took me a while. It would have taken me a much longer time to get something like this done. And so I tried this a couple of days ago. And so any questions? So we're just creating logos. Then we also use Google Gemini. I don't know if you had a chance to use Gemini before, but this is gemini.google.com. So we would try this quickly, or Chat GPT. Okay. So we went through the same process in both, created a nice prompt. And here were the avatars I was able to create. And these were some I tried another day. And this was very quick, almost instantaneous. This was my Chat GPT image. This was on the right was my Gemini image. I also thought about, what if I want to create a logo for my research lab? And so I said, I gave it a prompt, create a logo or avatar for the lab, machine learning, research lab, and it created these two avatars for me. So this was very helpful, something very useful. Okay, so I'm going to skip the, let me see, skip the content and go to the activities. Okay. Okay. So next for faculty, what we want to do is try to improve our curriculum. And so, Dr. Swanier, which one do you think we can try first? Let me see. I think we tried Quizlet. And we tried Claude. And so everybody, you can try either Claude or Quizlet. In Quizlet, you can take a PowerPoint or a small set of your class. You can upload that and it will create interactive materials for your class. Also, Claude will do the same. If you upload either your slides or information, it will create some things for you.
I think we should do Quizlet.
Okay, so let me see, do I have it already open?
And you can show them how to generate a lesson plan, or how to do an outline. You can use,
okay. So I'll go to Quizlet. So I've also tried Quillbot. Yes. Okay. Now this one is called Quizlet.com. Quizlet.com. Okay. This is Quizlet.com. Oh yes, and yes, there is a difference between Gemini and Chat GPT. Gemini is created by Google. Chat GPT is created by OpenAI. Okay. Okay. And Gemini is by Google. And so what happens if you go to Quizlet.com, you would have to log in to get to where I am. You have to log in. And this is what your home screen, oh, mine is a little updated because I have used it before. But what you can do as soon as you get in, you can go, let me go back to the home. There are many different things that you can create. And my first thing is I want to search for other things related to my class. One of my classes that I teach in the fall is HCI. And so I want to create some flashcard sets. And so I will go and check out a set of flashcards that someone else already created. And this one, let me double check the one that I've looked at before. This one was created by Dan. And so it just creates a set of flashcards. On one side, it has a question. On the flip side, it has an answer. So if I go into Quizlet and I want to create some flashcards, here are different examples of flashcards. You flip them, and what you would do is you just upload. You could actually turn these into questions. So this is a user-centered approach. Interactive design, user-centered design process. Okay. And so now we go back, if we want to actually go back, it can create a test based upon the PowerPoint that you uploaded. And it can give you a multiple choice question based upon that PowerPoint. And so let me see, can I get all the way back to the beginning? And so I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but I clicked on the plus and I want to create a flashcard set. You can either create a practice test, a flashcard in the free trial. And so this is very good for our students. So I'll say flashcard set. I can generate it from an upload. So with this, can you all see my extra screen? Let me stop my share and share again. Because something popped up. I don't know if you all can see my pop-up. Okay, and so now you should be able to see the pop-up. It says generate from upload. And so now I want to go back and generate that, upload files. So then I would browse so think about if you're teaching, think about what you're teaching in the fall. Think about what you're teaching in your first 2 or 3 weeks. I'm picking my very first lesson. I'm browsing for that lesson for my chapter 1. Okay. So this is my chapter 1. So I'm going to go and I'm going to upload this chapter 1 from my PowerPoint. It's going to take that and it's going to generate a flashcard set for me. This might take a while, so I'll let it keep running. But when it finishes, remember before we just saw just the empty flashcard that had a word, and on the flip side, it had the question or answer. This is what it's creating for me. Okay. The other thing I wanted to do, oh, here we go. So now that it has uploaded, you would just say generate. Now it's generating my flashcard set. And so without me actually creating any new content, the AI is generating a flashcard. It can also generate, let me see. Okay. Okay. So these are all of the different cards. It created 29 cards from from a deck of 29 cards. I could add images, diagrams, etc. But what I'll do is I'll go all the way to the end and just say study. And it should bring up those different, here is my set.
Designing products for user communication and interaction.
Okay, and so it even had a small video within that set. And now I have a set of cards. If I wanted to search and see what others have created, you just search on that or any other class that you like. You will see cards that others have created. And you can go through and look at their cards. Okay, so the next thing I would do if I'm starting a class, I'll go back to Google Gemini. And what if I want to find out how to improve my class? So I can ask about my class. So I can say, give me the top 10 classes in HCI. Okay. So now it's going to give me a list of those top classes. I'm going to ask for a syllabus so I can see how can I maybe improve my syllabus. Okay. Okay. So I asked her, can you give me the syllabus? Now you can do this in either Gemini or Chat GPT. So this is going through and giving you details. So it says 6-week. This is a 6-week short course. It gives you, here's the module 1 all the way through, and it gives you the key learning. And I also, can you give me a lesson from module 1? So you can get Chat GPT or Gemini to help you create or refine your lessons. So I asked it to give me more details from the module 1. So now it's making it more like a class, giving me a lot more details. Oh, okay. Oh, but it did find an open course, MIT open courseware. It gave me an open course related to that. And so what we have is lots of different details. So that is a quick view at Quizlet, looking at different flashcards. But if I go back to Quizlet, it will create many different things for you. It will create a practice test. So if I go back and say practice test, and I can I'll say upload a file. This will give me more questions for my students. This will give me more questions for my students. And we'll see what kind of questions does it make for us. So they have lots of different ones that will work in this way. So this is Quizlet. Also, I like to sometimes use something called, now that I have these, once I generate these questions, I can put them into Kahoot. It might take a second for it to upload. Now that it's uploaded, I can generate those questions. So it might take a while based on the size. So it gave me 20 questions and a question bank. So here are the questions. So without me having to do any extra work, just uploading my PowerPoint set. This is Quizlet, and it has made these questions for me. Okay. And you can go through and see, I'm just going to go through and just select some things. And so you can see what the results look at in the end. It already has the question and answer pairs. And I'm not reading, I'm selecting. And so now at the end of this, we submit this at the very end, submit your test. I probably missed all of those because but it automatically grades these. Sometimes you would have your students go through. This is a practice quiz. You would have them take a snapshot of this so that you can validate that they went through and completed this information. Okay. And so next we'll look at, I think we may be almost out of time, but Claude is another good tool. So Claude AI. So if we go into Claude, okay, let's continue. So this is Claude. And so what you can do with Claude, you can also create many of the same things. I confirmed that I am 18 and I will use the free plan for now. So I try to use things that have free plans. So how Claude, it's a personal assistant. Okay. Okay. It wants to figure out how to keep track of me. Okay. So I found out through, I guess, a friend or my institution, but I'll say friend. And it asks, what do I want to do? I want to learn. I want to write. And I want to do some design. Okay. So you can design a character, a profile to improve my writing style. So I'll say improve my writing style. Okay. So it's going to ask me different questions, but I want to ask Claude some specific questions. What should we ask, Dr. Swanier? What do we need? What do we want to ask Claude today? We ask it about So I will ask it similar question. So now this one is a little bit more user friendly. And so it gave me 10 results of the top HCI classes. Say Carnegie Mellon. And so I ask it, can it give me, and I think it's giving me an overview of those classes so I can go through and find a different material, curricula.
You can ask it how to generate, a lesson plan.
Okay.
So for example, you can ask it to generate a lesson plan on how to solve linear equations.
Okay. Okay, so it may take just a second because it has to go through and it's going to, well, it's just showing the code, but it's creating something that will actually be an artifact when it finishes generating. And if it's too big, we'll come back and give it a smaller task. But this is really good because at the end of this, it would also generate the PowerPoint for you. So Claude will generate PowerPoint, ChatGPT, and Gemini will also generate PowerPoints and lesson plans for you. Okay, still thinking. Okay. And so now for that, it has created custom, so you customize your lesson plan. And so here is, oh, this is wonderful because it says it looked at 50 minute durations. You can change your duration, the level of the class, the size of the class. You can give it learning objectives, and based on this, it's going to tell you all about, have small demos, activities. This is wonderful. Think, pair, share, problem solving, gallery walk solutions, real world applications, etc. So this has a really good setup for your class. So it says customize your lesson by setting the duration. You can choose the different activities. And this is wonderful. Learning objectives, activity library, duration tracking, and visual lesson structure. So I think we may be out of time, but
We still have 10 minutes
oh,
left.
great, great,
And
great.
there is a question in the chat. It said, how can you use this? How can you, I guess it's me, how can you use AI in solving physics or mathematics problem? If it is possible, you may share some applications that can be used in these fields.
Okay. Now, let me think. I think we just asked because we have used a lot of different activities. And let me go back to Gemini. And so we'll ask Gemini. So what are some AI tools to solve mathematics? Okay. Since that is not my, oh, and we looked at this the other day, Wolfram Alpha. This one is really good. So this one you can put in a math problem and it will give you the example. So I've used Wolfram Alpha. I have not used Photo Math, but I know of another professor that has.
Are you able to go to Wolfram
Yes,
Alpha and just put in a problem?
Yes, but I'm gonna copy these. So this is a link. You can ask this in Gemini and Wolfram Alpha, Photo Math, Micro Math, Mathway, Symbolab, GeoGebra, Demos, and Julius. So they got a lot of different ones. So just ask your AI. And so let's go to Wolfram. Go back. Sorry about that. I just lost it. Make sure I spell it right. Okay. Okay. Oh, and enter what you want to calculate. And I will go back and I'll just do this.
I can give you a problem.
Okay.
We can say like 5x is equal to 20 minus x.
Oh, let me see. Okay. So for our students, this should be really helpful. And so then this one even gave me, I asked for a quick problem. It gave me a word problem. And so this is an example. Let me go over here to from Alpha. Okay. And this is a
Someone
word
put in the
problem.
chat, and I think you already shown this, how can AI assist in examination, question generation, and marking? I think when she used Quizlet, she generated some questions. Did you not,
Hey,
Dr.
let's
C?
go back and see.
Or how
So
can
if I look,
AI make exam setting and marking simple?
okay. So if I go to, I don't see it right here, but I'll go back to Quizlet and see, can I go to, yeah, with Quizlet, this will actually do the marking for you. And it will be, let me see, it will be in the test area. Practice test. Okay. And I will preview. You run it. Okay. And so from this one, we would just generate it from your content. You would generate questions and it would go through and it will automatically mark the question because it has the material there. And so let's ask other tools that will help with, I'll take this test. And let's ask other tools. So I'll go back to Google. And so what are some other AI tools that have practice test generation? Oh, so Chat GPT. Okay. And here are a couple of others. It says Prep AI, Quizlet, QuestGen, QuizBot, and Quiz Wizard. So here are a few here. You can just take a snapshot, and those are a few: QuizBot, Quizlet, Prep AI, OP exams. Oh, if I should switch, can I switch? Oh, can you switch to which? Oh, 5 minutes remaining. Oh, yes, so we need to switch. And so I need to stop. And thanks everybody for today. But that was Gemini. You can ask it lots of different questions. This was Quizlet, Claude, etc. Wolfram Alpha. And I will stop my share there. Thanks everybody for coming in. And also in the end, remember we had one sheet that had all of the different tools. And so just take a snapshot of that sheet, have a snapshot of that sheet. Let me see. This was for teachers. I think I'm not sure if I'm sharing or not. But take a snapshot of that sheet. It will give you all of the good list of faculty study tools. Try a new tool this week. I hope you tried a new one today. Thank you.
Are there any questions for us?
We may have to come back again. Sorry, we went so fast today.
If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat or you can unmute and ask the question.
Okay.
I have a suggestion.
Go
Sorry?
right ahead, Eric.
I have a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please go on. Go on.
Okay, thank you very much for this delivering session. We applaud for what you're learning about AI. So we wish just to ask you all to request you to be in touch with us. As scientists teachers, we are somehow challenged to implement and to use AI in science solution, also science in solving the problem in science. So if it's possible, it's a better to prepare for them about. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're both available on LinkedIn if you want to reach out and have any other questions, because we can we'll make sure that you all get a copy of the different tools, and so that you can so because some of them have directions, like step-by-step directions on how to use them. Because one that we didn't get to, from looking at my slide set, there are a couple that we didn't. Slides Go is another one that you can use to create slides on the go. And it will, so Claude will, so there are a lot that will generate slides and questions for you.
Now, there's a question in the chat that says, how can we use AI to curb plagiarism or assessment malpractice?
And so that one is a good one. Now, what happened, they do have some AIs that will check for, because with Grammarly, it will check for plagiarism. So when you upload the document into Grammarly, it will check. Now some of it cannot check for AI plagiarism yet, but it can check to make sure that they aren't using someone else's words. Now what happened, we can sometimes tell by the way that AI does it. They have certain words that they use over and over again, and so you sort of get, sometimes AI, if I think of Chat GPT, it gives a lot of bullets in their responses. So if I see a student giving a lot of bullets in their responses, I'm like, you need to expand this. So we have to remind our students that you can use AI, but do not use it as a pilot. You can use it as a helper or a co-pilot. And so, yeah, so AI, I need a good AI tool for solving chemistry problems. Just make sure you contact us, because I know that we've worked with someone yesterday in biology, and she found a good tool for AI for biology. We'll have to get back to you on a good AI for chemistry. But I would ask Chat GPT, what are good AI tools for chemistry teachers? And then it should give you a list of those. So I would ask Chat GPT, what are good AI tools for chemistry teachers or for chemistry students? Because there are a lot more tools than we'll know. So today we mentioned a lot of different tools. We tried maybe about 4 different tools just for time. We created an avatar in Gemini or Chat GPT. We asked for a lesson plan, and we looked at creating questions, a flashcard deck, and creating question bank. And so sometimes when you have a book from your textbook company, sometimes kids will share those questions too freely. And so this would give us more questions, more questions. And someone said, will they get a certificate for this day? I'm not sure. We have to double check and see, but this is an hour and a half of instruction. So thank you all for coming. And I'm sure the people at our foundation will let us know. So I'm sure the WAAW will let you know.
And
If
also in the chat, someone mentioned that they were looking at we should engage more in the development of strategies to make teaching and learning more exciting. And I agree with you, because you want your students to be an active part of their learning. And so one thing I've used in the classroom to help for, students to be more engaged is group work. I don't know if you're familiar. There's something called POGIL, POGIL. That's an acronym for process oriented I forgot what the G meant, but basically you have approximately 4 students to a group, and each person in the group has a role to play, like manager, note taker, etc. But if I type it in the chat, it's called POGIL. And if you Google POGIL, I think the I stands for integrated learning. Yeah. And so if you Google POGIL, it'll tell you how to, um, do the group setting and have the students engage. So basically, everyone has a role to play and to contribute. One of the roles is managing the time. So you may have a timekeeper, a manager, a recorder. So you have every person in the group engage. Yeah, so that's another way or strategy that you can use to engage the students. Yes, process oriented guided inquiry learning. Thank you. Thank you. That's what POGLE stands for, process-oriented guided inquiry learning. I love that. And that way, the teacher, the educator is not just lecturing all the time, so this way, and this, and then you have somebody, you can randomly, depending on your class size, if you have 150 students and 4 students per group, of course, everybody can't report or present out. You randomly choose a group to present their findings. So I love POGLE. Well, thank you. We have enjoyed
Right.
it. Um,
Thanks,
thank the
everybody.
WAAW Foundation for the opportunity to present on an introduction to AI in education.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks, everybody.
you.
And hope
Thank you
everybody
so
found
much.
at least one new tool that you can use. Have a great day, everybody.
And you too. Thank you so much, Dr. Cheryl Seals. Thank you so much, Dr. Cheryl Swanier. We are grateful. We are excited. I'm particularly excited about this introductory conversation because we see that there's so much more that we can do. And I'm going to come behind closed door to see if we can have a phase two for this because we see that there's so much conversation in the room. So we would definitely come back to our participants, our teachers here, letting you know if there's going to be another phase of this because I mean we are seeing the feedback. We need to continue this conversation. We need to equip you more on this. So we would get back to you on with the slides, the presentation slides, so that you have direct access to all of these resources that has been shared. We will definitely do that, give or take between Monday and Tuesday. We will be sharing that with you. But very quickly, before we close up this part, we want to hear from you. So the survey form has been dropped there. Particularly, we want to capture where you're also coming, where you're joining the call from, as well as your feedback, because this feedback again will help us with the phase two that we are planning. So please take some time out to fill the survey form while my colleague now comes to speak on the scholarship opportunities that exist. Sorry, before Jessica comes in, we have someone's hand raised. Hi, Slivik. Hi, Slivik. You can unmute. I see your hands are raised. You can unmute. Okay, maybe you can't hear, but Slivik, if you can hear us, you can drop your question or comment in the chat room, or if you are able to speak, then please let us know. But while that is being sorted, Jessica, please, you can please introduce the scholarship opportunities that our teachers can sign up for. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rala, and thank you to Dr. Cheryl for this section. I mean, this is a lot, honestly. I've been using AI, but like, I kind of learned a lot today, right? So thank you very much for this section. Okay, please let's fill the feedback survey form. It's already in the chat. So, like we said earlier, we have some initiatives, some scholarship opportunities we would like to introduce to our teachers that they can pass down to their students as well. So I'll be introducing the college counseling initiative, which we call the HALI program.
Hi, Jessica, you are muted.
Oh my god. So sorry. I've been speaking. Okay, so we are introducing the
You
college
started off
counseling
with
initiative, right? Okay, can you get it done now?
yes,
Hello?
Jessica, we can hear you. So just kick off with Ali. That's the last thing we heard you.
Okay. Okay, so the HALI program, like I said, is the High Achieving Low Income Students Program. And it's targeted on supporting academically talented but economically disadvantaged students to access global higher education opportunities. Okay, so we have a lot of our students who wish to further their education, undertake graduate studies or undergraduate studies outside the country, but they are limited due to financial resources, right? So the Harley program comes in to bridge this gap for these students. So what we do at WAAW Foundation, we partner with the Harley Access Network to identify these high achieving low income students and mentor them through our college counseling program, right? So we guide the students through the application process. Some of them don't know what it entails to apply to these colleges abroad, right? So we put them through the processes, we help them through their personal essays, the application, apps. Some of them even need to write stats. So we help them also with these procedures, right?
So we can't hear Jessica, but so that I could fill in the gap.
Can we teachers help? The
Okay, she's back.
teachers can help us by nominating outstanding students from your school. Okay, we don't know these students, we don't work in a school, right? But you can help us identify these high achieving low income students by recommend those with academic excellence, guide these students on what they need for the. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please. Okay, okay, thank you. Okay. So yeah, Uche, secondary students are eligible for this. In fact, our Harley students are secondary school students, most especially those in SS2, SS3, in their final year of secondary school. Those that are ready to move on to undergraduate schools to go to the universities. These are the students we target and we work with for the college counseling program. So if you're interested in this, you want to know, you have a student in your class that is very good and you feel like this student is limited due to financial resources, please fill out the interest form in the chat so that we can get to know you and possibly reach out to these students or recommend these students to us. Okay. And that brings me to the second initiative we have for today, the Ashinaga Africa Initiative. And this is a life-changing international scholarship for orphaned students. Okay, so what is Ashinaga Africa Initiative? The Ashinaga Africa Initiative is a fully funded scholarship, wow, and leadership training program for orphaned students from sub-Saharan Africa to study abroad in the US, UK, Japan, if they are English speaking, Brazil, if they speak Portuguese, or France, if they are French speaking students. Okay, now, the criteria for this is for, like we said, for orphaned students. So the students must have lost one or both parents in the top 10% of their class on national exams, be it WASE, NECO, JAMB, SAT, IELTS, whatever exam it is in their country, they should be in the top 10%, okay? Under 23 years old, yeah, and no financial means to attend university. That still brings us back to the HALI, which is high achieving and low income students, all right? Strong English proficiency, yeah, for those going to English speaking countries, and no dependents and in good health. So they shouldn't have people depending on them, all right? So this program is actually very good. The Harley initiative we talked about initially, college counseling, helps students in the applications and all of that. But this is a fully funded scholarship that will take the students throughout their university program in any of these countries. Now, Ashinaga Africa Initiative will take it up from here. They will guide the students in the application process and everything necessary. And when they secure the admission, they pay for their school fees and everything needed until the student completes their education. Wow. This is an amazing opportunity. So please, we are calling on school founders, proprietors, and administrators to help us. Join us in identifying and nominating exceptional orphaned students in your schools. Now, this opportunity is specifically for orphaned students, please. So it's not for students that still have their parents. They should be orphans, either lost one or both parents. And if you are a school founder or a proprietor or principal or administrator and you're interested in joining us to identify and nominate exceptional orphan students in your schools for this program, please fill out the interest form in the chat as well. And we will get to know you that would help us to reach out to you and take it up from there. Okay, and is the interest form, okay, the interest form is in the chat already, so please fill that, and also the feedback form. Okay, so what's next? I mean, we've had this
Hi,
section
Jessica.
and it
Hi,
was
Jessica. Let me
amazing. We
quickly
all know
add.
this. Okay.
Sorry, there's a lag. Let me add to that. So something we need to emphasize, right? The Ashinaga one, the second one that Jessica just spoke about, our partnership with them is only focused to Nigeria. That's something we also need to emphasize because they currently have partnership with other organizations that are outside Nigeria. But for the purpose of this conversation that we are having, it's just targeted at Nigerian students. But the alley is open to all. So I just wanted to call that the differences out. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Vera, for that. I actually forgot about that. Thank you for that. So what's next for us? Please take a moment to complete our feedback survey. Your feedback will help us improve and serve you better. Okay. I see some of us in the chat saying, oh, they want a phase 2, they want this, they want, please drop this in our feedback so that we can go through that and then know what to improve for our next program. Okay. And the webinar recording, I know some of us are our doctors, we are kind of a bit fast. I get that. We'll be dropping the recording for this next day or thereabout, but you'll get the recording. And please stay connected with us so that you can know about future trainings. I mean, in case we are going to have a phase 2, stay connected with us so that you can always get the information about future trainings, webinars, and I mean other scholarship opportunities. It's not just the teachers training, like my colleague said at the beginning of this webinar. We have a lot of programs, the college to secondary, the scholarship programs, which will be opening up towards I think September this year. So you need to stay connected with us. If you're not subscribed to our newsletter, please subscribe and follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn. Please stay connected with us so that you don't miss out on any of our trainings or any of our programs. Okay. I think at this point I will be calling on my executive director to give us some final speech before we call it a day from here. So I'll be calling on Similain on so the executive director of WAAW Foundation, to give us a closing note. Simi, please.
All right. Thank you very much, Jessica. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much again to Dr. Cheryl Swanier and Dr. Cheryl Seals. Thank you for such an insightful session. Like, when you think you've known about AI before and then you came on this webinar today, you'll be like, no, I'm just a beginner with AI. There was a lot to learn. And this is just beyond just for the educators alone. It's for everybody because we all deal with writings and a lot of interactions with, computer and the knowledge on a daily basis. Thank you so much for the knowledge shared. And to all our participants, thank you so much for trusting WAAW Foundation. Thank you for signing up for the webinar, and thank you for indeed joining the webinar and staying till the end. We are going to bring a lot more. Thank you for asking for phase 2. Actually, if this was not good enough, you wouldn't have wanted a phase 2. So we can assure you that we will have a lot of many phases after this session. And then thank you so much for trusting WAAW Foundation. So like WAAW Foundation is, we are all about empowering African women and girls, educators all across African countries. And we are here for you. We are really here for you, for the students, for the teachers, for even the proprietors, for the school owners. We are here for you. Once it's education, WAAW Foundation is here to stay. So thank you once again for joining us. Please look out on our social media platforms. Watch out for your emails so that you get to know when we are bringing in other programs for you. Even beyond the phase 2, there are other programs that we're going to be sharing with you, and you have to keep track with all of it. So thank you once again for joining us. And we wish you all the best in your education, in your classroom engagement with your teachers. We wish you all the best with your physics, your chemistry, your mathematics, and how you engage with your students and all of this. Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself, and looking forward to seeing you and more of your friends and colleagues for the next sessions. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Thank you very much, Timmy. Please let's not leave the call yet. Please, can we turn on our video so that we can take a virtual picture, a virtual photo to remember these amazing faces that joined us for today's section? Please turn on your video. Oh, I see Joe, Obiora, Uchechi. Please turn on your video. And some of us don't want me to see their face. So what's the problem now? Woo! Nice faces.
Is it possible for you to like stop sharing your screen so you can see everybody?
Oh, let me stop sharing. Ooh. I think I got everybody. This is the last one. Yo, I think I got everybody now. Thank you very much for joining us today. It was an amazing section, believe me.
So good to see everybody from so many places. So bonjour, ciao, goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.